What fuels the ideal application process? How does it look? 2 interviews. Are the interviews with an HR department? Ooh, okay. So I think most interviews actually are useless. So how do we do? We'll have 2 processes. One, I just may like you, and I then try to find a way to work together, even if I don't have a job opening, right? But assuming we're doing a job posting, then the process looks like this. We'll do a job posting. It'll be one big, long, ugly, nasty paragraph. I don't make it easy because I need people on my team who are detail-oriented, because I'm not always the most detail-oriented. So the first test right away is look for detail-orientedness. So it'll be the job posting is one ugly paragraph. In the middle of that paragraph will be some kind of skill testing question, like, tell me how many subscribers I have on YouTube, right? Not a super complex one, right? It's a pretty easy one. 80% of the people never read that part of the posting, and I'll say in the first line of your job application, please tell me how many subscribers I have on YouTube, right? So 80% of people never read it. They've applied to your job, but they never read that part. And so what ends up happening is you get stuck spending all this time reading people's job applications, where they spent 0 time actually reading your proposal, right? Your job posting. So I want to flip it, right? Because they see whatever programmer, and so they just apply, and then they put the work on you to actually read their cover letter and read their resume. They just copy pasted a million times, and they didn't actually care about the job yet. And so I want to flip it. Like, if you're not going to put in the work to actually read my job ad, I'm not going to read your resume. So I don't care about your work history. I don't care where you came from. I don't care about anything. If you did not answer that first question, then I'm not trashman. I'm not looking at your proposal at all. So that's 20% of the people already gone. Like, this is how you save time in the hiring process. Next is you'll get 5% of people who say, okay, tell me what your YouTube channel is, and I'll tell you how many subscribers you have, right? Like, listen, you're going to have a little bit of resourcefulness, right? It's not that hard to go look up Evan Carmichael YouTube and find my channel, right? So if you can't handle something like that, it's probably not going to be, a fit. We need a little bit of resourcefulness here, right? Just kind of basic stuff here. So now you're down to 15%. Great. So what happens next? What happens next is I do a trial. I do a paid trial. I give them a job that I think will take 2 hours to do, and I'll give them up to 5 hours to do it. So a paid trial, everybody, that last 15%, everybody automatically gets offered a paid trial. Automatically. No interviews, paid trial. Let's start working together. I give them a job that I think will take 2 hours, and I'll give them up to 5 hours to do it. So why that? Well, one, I hate micromanaging. So I'm not going to be the person micromanaging, looking at your computer, looking over all your work. Like, if that's what you need, then you shouldn't be at my company. It's just not going to be a good fit. So I need somebody who can self-manage and who is honest. So if I give them a task that should take 2 hours, but I'm going to pay them for up to 5 hours, what happens? Well, if they take 5 hours, either one, they're milking me, right? They're ripping me off, like, oh, he's not going to pay attention, and they're just trying to max out the 5 hours. Great, awesome, you're not getting hired. Or you're just really slow. Like, that job should have taken you 2 hours, but it took you 5. You're just really slow. In either case, you're not going to be on the team, right? Either case, we don't, thank you, appreciate you, but we don't want you. I do a paid trial instead of doing a interview, because the interview process rarely actually tests for the right thing. Most interviews test for the wrong thing, the exact wrong thing, right? So now, if you're hiring a salesperson, then an interview process could be good. It's like, sell me on yourself. But if you're hiring a video editor, how well they do in an interview is pretty useless. It's pretty useless. Maybe they get really nervous. Maybe, selling themselves isn't something they're good at, and you're going to judge based off of that. This is where people make so many mistakes. Like, you're just testing for the wrong skill. So instead of an interview, you do a project that is related to what they're actually going to be doing. So if it's a video editor, then great, here's a little video project. Please edit this for me. Edit this Instagram video for me. Put the captions on it, right? Something that's related to what they're ultimately going to be doing. Because I had lots of people on my team who would fail a normal job interview, but are awesome because I'm not hiring them to be salespeople. So now you're actually working on projects with people, and then you see how do you like working with them, right? You work on this mini project with them. Do they ask questions? Are they making excuses? Are they coming up with good ideas? And I'm always looking for somebody who doesn't just do the thing that I asked them for, but who goes a little bit above. So my main video editor, Christina, for example, when I did the job trial with her, I had the post in to say, hey, here's this video, please edit this in our style. And I showed them our style. And she did it. She did it in our style. She did exactly what I asked. And then she also wrote to say, hey, okay, here's what you wanted me to do. I did it in your style, but I also kind of think your style sucks. And I gave another option for how you could do it better, right? Which I love. And so she made it better. So that's who I hired. So you're looking for somebody who, in the process of working together, you actually they over deliver and you love working with them, because that's who you want to keep on your team forever. So most people, they first off put up a job posting, then they're sifting through all these resumes, and you hate your life as you're going through resumes. Like, oh my gosh, another resume, another fake resume, right? People taking credit for things that they didn't do. Like, resumes are mostly garbage. Then you go through job interviews. It's like, oh, that's another giant pain in the neck, and you're trying to sift out, is this person the right fit for me? Because you're not even testing for the right skills. So then finally you get somebody. Finally, through all that pain and headache and hassle, you get somebody. And then they end up sucking because you tested for the wrong thing every step along the way, but you don't want to let them go because they're just good, and you don't want to go through that headache again of hiring somebody else because it's such a painful process, right? The hiring process is broken. The other thing I love doing when hiring people is getting people who can transition and move around, right? So a lot of times in a company, you got to be flexible because things change so much in an entrepreneurial business. So I'm trying to find people who will often hire them for one thing and then say, hey, that job we don't really have a lot of room for, but we've got this other thing. Do you want to learn that? So we've taught people how to edit videos. We've taught people how to do Photoshop. I love finding good people and just believing in them and teaching them something they never felt that they could do before. Like, I'd much rather work with the hardworking person who doesn't know how to do anything and just give them the skills to do it than the person who feels like they already know everything and doesn't work hard. So it's much more about just finding that the mindset of the right person. That's why the previous question of how many candidates you need to find before you find the right person, like, just really depends.